Hi, everybody. I apologize for my office being so dark. I'm trying to figure out how to get the screen to darken. It might be something wrong with the webcam, but anyway, that's not important. I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly. Today, I want to go through the CUNY application and basically just do a little walkthrough on how to fill this out. I'm getting a lot of questions about the CUNY application. New update this year. The CUNY schools are no longer on the common application, so if you want to apply to Macaulay Honors or a CUNY school, you have to apply using the CUNY application. So makes it easy, no more confusion with that. Also, we can send the CUNY application transcripts directly through Naviance now. So you no longer need to be sending anything through the CUNY application or directly via, we used to have to send it through paper mail. So that's all sorted out. So let's get into it. To start the CUNY application, I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to start with a general Google search because you'll need to start somewhere. So open up, your tab and just type in CUNY application. And you're going to see apply to CUNY, okay? And it's going to bring you to this page. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see undergraduate application with these people sitting on the lawn, zoomed out, okay? Not a graduate applicant. You still have to go to undergrad first. Okay, and it's going to bring you to this page that says how to apply. So step one, determine your college choices and academic program. So they're encouraging you to research the schools first. And that's good because there are a lot of CUNY choices. So you want to check out to see what schools are available and where you'd like to go to start. You can see the deadlines here, February 1st. All right, Macaulay Honors is a little bit earlier, it's December 1st. So you want to make sure that you know your deadlines. All right. CUNY application account. So step two, you're going to go to the CUNY application page. Future students, which is what you are, because you don't have a CUNY account yet, you're going to hit start your application. If you already have an application started later on, you'll go to finish your application. So to start, before you can actually make an account, they're going to ask you, I would like to apply as. All of you are going to be freshman applicants, all right? Nobody here is in college already and applying as a transfer student. And you can see on the left here, it says freshman application, choose up to 6 colleges on one app, 2-year or 4-year degree programs. You can apply for the opportunity programs and the deadline is February 1st, all right? Macaulay Honors, choose the application to be considered for our honors college, choose up to 6 4-year colleges. So they only allow the 4-year colleges, so that's Hunter, Queens, Baruch, Brooklyn, Lehman, John Jay, Staten Island, and I'm missing one. But there's 8 4-year colleges that you can choose from, okay? I think I forgot Hunter. You can choose 2 schools to be considered for Macaulay Honors. So even though you're still allowed to pick 6 schools, the first 2 schools on your list, numbers 1 and 2, they're going to look you for Macaulay. So don't put your first choice Macaulay Honors School as number 6 because they won't look at you for it. So it's right here in the instructions, all right? You just have to read. And I misspoke, the deadline for Macaulay is December 8th at 6 p.m. So we want you submitting your stuff earlier anyway, but for you, the application is due on the 8th. Freshman applicant, all right, so then you choose between freshman or Macaulay. I'm going to go with the general freshman app, all right? Macaulay will have extra essays. That's the only difference that you'll have to fill in, but let's do the general freshman application. You hit next, and it takes you into the username and password section. If you do not have a username and password, you have to click register now, and you make an account. If you already have one, which I've made one for the sake of speed, okay? You already got that. And let's put in our password. Of course, it's invalid. And we're in. Okay, so you can see I had started a 2019 fall term freshman app. Again, I'm running through this. So let's do create an application. And here we go. So it's going to ask you basic information just like the Common App does. All right, they want to know your name. They want you to put down your birth date. Okay, I made that up. They want your contact information, your address. All right. It's not going to let you move forward until you put a lot of this stuff in. So let's say I put in the school's phone. Okay. And you can't see because my head's in the way, but there's a little wheel that spins in the upper right-hand corner. That's saving it each time you go through, okay? Obviously, as long as your mailing address is here, so let's say I put in the school's email address. Okay. And then you hit next. Residency. So pretty much everybody's going to be a New York resident for at least the last 12 months. All right. You're going to pretty much click all 4 of these, most people, but read through and make sure that's not the case. If that's not the case, if those don't apply, you would only click I am none of the above, but for most of our students, that's not going to be the case. Country of citizenship, so they want to know where your country citizenship is. I'm not going to put in my social security number on the screen for all of you to see. So for now, I'm just going to click I do not have a social, but you'll want to put your social security number here for financial aid purposes, okay? Military status. This is totally, this information is just confidential record keeping. You do not have to report any of this if you don't want, but it's basically asking you your ethnicity, languages, family information. Again, all this background information is not required. This is where it starts to get interesting and you have to really pay attention. So college and major. I mentioned for Macaulay Honors, the top 2 schools that you list are going to be the ones they use for Macaulay Honors. So this is the section that matters. So if you put in fall 2021, all right, now we're not doing the Macaulay Honors app, but if we were, this is where you'd have to list your schools. They want to know the college name. Okay, so let's say I'm applying to Baruch and they want to know the major. If you're not sure the major, just hit search and it'll bring up all the majors at that school, okay? If you're not seeing something that you want to see, all right, try to get the closest thing to it. This is the majors that they have listed for the application, so I don't know what to tell you if you're not seeing what you think you should be seeing here. But for Baruch, let's say I want to do actuarial science, so I'm going to click on that, and now I have Baruch, all right? And there's some program things here that it tells you Baruch requires an essay. So that means that when you get to the essay section, you will need to put that in for Baruch. To add more colleges, you just click add college. All right, let's say I want to apply to Queens. You hit search. My Queens majors. I just said I'm interested in actuarial studies at Baruch, so I'm going to put accounting, and so on and so forth until you have your 6 schools. If there's a school that you don't want, you just hit the trash bin on this side and it gets taken out. You must apply, if you're applying to 6 colleges, which you have up to 6 colleges here, you have to apply to all of them on the same application. Don't fill out a new application just because you want to apply to another school. You add all 6 schools or up to 6 schools in this section, okay? Let's move on to the next part. This is if you're interested in one of their support programs. All right, this is usually for students from lower income backgrounds where they offer different opportunities. If you're not interested in either of these things, you can just hit no and continue. But I will say this, I fully welcome you to get more information and read about them and see if you might qualify, okay? They want to know where you go to high school. So obviously you're going to put in a US high school, then you're going to search for Malloy. If you want to do our seed code, it's 332543. You hit search. There's Malloy, select, boom. Okay, they're going to ask you the dates that you've been there and when you're going to graduate. You will not have an OSIS number. Okay, so don't worry about an OSIS number. It's not something that you have. You don't go to public school. So even if you had an OSIS number and you went to public school for elementary school or middle school, do not put that number. All right. The OSIS number is how they get your transcript automatically through the public school system in New York. We have to send your transcript manually. So do not put in an OSIS number. It's not letting me go forward until I put in these dates. So okay. This is where you're going to put in your courses. All right. This is if you're taking St. John's credits, okay? They want to know that you're doing that. I'm just waiting for this to load. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, the wheel is spinning. Okay, recommendations. So if you're getting a recommendation for Naviance, you're going to use the same teacher here, all right? Recommendations are not required except for Macaulay Honors, so you don't have to put in 3 recommendations for this section. You only need 1 teacher. If you're doing Macaulay, you'll need 2 teachers, all right? So you put in the teacher's name, their email address, their title. You're going to click yes, that you waive your right, and then you click add, and an email will be sent to that teacher to complete the application, okay? Extracurricular activities are here. Activity type, you pick from it, put in the start dates, your comments, very straightforward, okay? If you have an essay written for your Common App, you can upload the exact same essay here in the supporting material section, all right? And then once you have all of those things done, you will pay the fee. If you qualify for an SAT fee waiver, we can give you a CUNY fee waiver, all right? My number 1 suggestion is don't ever use the pay later button. It just leads to a lot of issues. You're either going to pay now or wait until you have the payment before you hit pay now. And if you have a fee waiver, we can provide you with a fee waiver number, all right? But pay later just means that you submit your app and then the money doesn't come in, and if you forget about it, they just don't process your application. So you're better off waiting if you need to come up with the 65 bucks until you have it and then just do the pay now, all right? And then once that's done, you have to go back and still submit your application, all right, after you pay. And that's it, that's the CUNY app. And then you'll let us know that you've applied. You will add City College of New York, CCNY, on Naviance to your colleges I'm applying to list. And then we can send your transcripts to CUNY. Even if you're not applying to CCNY, you still have to add that to your college I'm applying to list on Naviance, all right? That's the trigger for us to send your transcript through to CUNY. Without that school listed, the transcript won't go through. So even if you have 6 other schools, you still have to add a 7th school as CCNY. All right, so that's the CUNY application. If you have questions, let me know. Like I said, really straightforward. This app should not take you that long, especially if you have the letters of recommendation and everything else ready to go, and your essay ready to go. I've filled this app out with students in 1 class period. So again, if you need help, we're here, but this should help get you well on your way. Have a good day.